What is going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? Revolution Hell Cowboy here. And, wow. Can you believe it? Christmas is almost here. In less than 2 weeks, a week and a half, depending on when this video goes up, the holiday is almost here. Man, I mean, this year has flown by fast and is close to being over. But still, hey, it's the Christmas season. For anybody that enjoys it. If you don't, well, hopefully you're enjoying your holiday season regardless, whatever holiday you celebrate. But of course, as you see behind me, I got my tree with my wrestling figures. And I got some stockings hung up, which thankfully my cat hasn't messed with, including the one stock of his name on it. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be a nice kitty from this year, and he'll get some treats and not some coal. But all seriousness, this video is going to be my Christmas DVD collection. And it's not really a big collection, but a fairly decent collection. And there's some movies I'm missing, unfortunately, that I have yet to buy. Ones I want to have at some point, like the Santa Claus movies. I'd like to have Miracle on 34th Street. There's some more animated Christmas specials. And I can go on a list of stuff I don't have yet. And also, this is not going to be a countdown or anything. It's just going to be what I show at random. From movies I like a lot. Ones I've watched since I was a kid. Going back to even before I was born even, like some old Rankin and Bass specials. And even some stuff on here that you might not even know existed. Including some stuff that featured, yes, WWE superstars. Including a Hall of Famer in one of these. Yeah. And it's one that's going to be one you're going to be like, wow, that's a Christmas movie? Yeah, you'll see when I get to it. But anyways, yeah, as I said before, this won't be a ranking or a top 10. But I will try to do at some point maybe a top 10 Christmas movies, maybe a top 10 Christmas specials, maybe at some point, which some of these will be in the video that I'll probably try to include in my list. But anyways, guys, enjoy this little, it's a little bit of a collection video for you guys. And, hey, let me know what movies you guys have. Links down in the description for my Discord if you want to go to Discord, talk Christmas there. And, well, of course, talk in the comments section here on YouTube. But anyways, let's get into the video. Alright, so first, in my Christmas movie collection, as I mentioned, there will be some movies that feature WWE superstars, whether in a starring role or maybe in a supporting role. So this one, as you see on the front, he's awesome. The Miz, or Mike the Miz Mizanin. This movie, not so much. Now, it's not a bad movie. Yes, y'all see PAIGE, another WWE superstar, and then some actress named Annalyn McCord, as it says. But anyways, this movie, well, first, it was made by WWE Studios, and yeah, it's one of those direct-to-DVD movies. That's not so bad, but it's not really that good, but it's decent. Anyways, without spoiling too much of the movie, Miz plays this guy who works at an office. He's basically, like, selfish, full of himself, gets fired from his job, loses his house, loses his girlfriend, so gets a job offer from Santa Claus to become his new head elf, because the old head elf is retired. Well, as you see, Paige back there is the daughter of the former head elf, and she's trying to take a job. Meanwhile, the other girl you see behind the Miz to the right is trying to help the Miz out with all these different, tasks to see if he's worthy of being the head elf. But, yeah, it's a crazy movie. There's lots of goofy gags, but it's still decent, good story. Anyways, here's the back of the DVD. If you guys can, I'm trying to show it to you guys. This is not working the way I thought. Hopefully you should be able to read it. But yeah, you'll laugh out loud. You'll. So yeah, decent movie. I don't recommend it, but it's not bad. It's a movie you can maybe watch once. But still, for what it is, it's an okay movie. I mean, it's a straight DVD movie, so you don't really expect the best in production values, but for what it is, it's still alright. Next in my collection, this one actually is a pretty decent movie. As you see, it stars Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done! Jingle All the Way 2, which is not a sequel, believe it or not. Yes, other than the fact that it has the Jingle All the Way title, it's nowhere connected to the original movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, it does have a similar premise. A father trying to find a toy for his daughter, just like in the original, Arnold was trying to find a toy for his son. Even though technically the toy is not what his daughter wants, without spoiling too much. But also in this movie, Larry plays a divorced father who still wants to, you know, beat his daughter's life, and of course he's still on good terms with his ex, but his ex, well, decided to marry a rich guy, and the rich guy named Victor wants to basically also impress his stepdaughter, despite the fact the stepdaughter has, you know, still so much love in her heart for her father Larry. And only after Larry reads a letter that his daughter wrote for Santa, and of course shows how illiterate he is, that thinks that his daughter wants that bear you see right there. And well, once the stepfather finds out, yeah, craziness, you know, it gets crazy basically, as they're trying to get that bear, which, yeah, you'll have to go and watch the whole movie for yourself if you guys do find it, or if it's ever on TV. And look, here's the WWE connection. Santino Marella is in this movie, and believe it or not, it's Santino out of character, because if you guys didn't know, Santino is not really from Italy, he's from Canada. So in the movie, he's actually speaking in his real speaking voice, not in his fake Italian accent. But anyways, pretty good movie. I hope you guys can read this anyways, give more description of what's going on in the movie. Pretty good movie. I mean, it's a little cheesy at times, but it's a good movie, and it's got good, decent comedy in it. I mean, come on, it's got Larry the Cable Guy. I mean, he's even doing some of his little, you know, Larry the Cable Guy stick in there, so, yeah. It's a good movie for what it is. I mean, once again, not a direct sequel to the original Jingle All the Way, but it's still good for what it is. However, you want to talk about the original, here we go. The original Jingle All the Way, with old Arnold himself, and as you see, of course, the Turbo Man. Oh man, I mean, this movie right here. And so many good quotable lines like, "Put the cookie down!" Or, "It's Turbo time!" I mean, I could probably do a decent amount of the quotes. Of course, very good movie. And here's the back, and also Sinbad's in there. Sinbad, you know, plays the pretty much rival to Arnold in this movie, just like in the other movie I just mentioned with Larry Cable Guy, you know, how he had a rival. Well, of course, you have Sinbad playing the, you know, mailman who's also trying to get a gift for his child. And also features the late Phil Hartman, who plays kind of the next door neighbor that also tries to hit on, you know, Arnold's wife in the movie, because Arnold's a dad who's pretty much busy with his job and almost neglects getting his son Turbo Man. And well, because he's doing his Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve, Turbo Man is sold out everywhere. So yeah, so we got Arnold here and Sinbad fighting over, you know, who's gonna get Turbo Man. Everything from going to stores where there's maybe like a raffle to get the toy, going to a radio station and almost holding a poor rail DJ hostage, even being in a parade where you see Arnold dress up as Turbo Man and Sinbad dresses up as the villain. So yeah, good movie. And also WWE connection. It's not shown here, but a certain world's largest athlete who was in WWE, now in AEW, but he was in WCW at the time this movie was made, Paul the Big Show White, or the Giant as he once was known as, is also in this movie. Yeah, that's right. You'll have to definitely watch it if you've never seen it before. This is a good movie. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. So, I'm glad to have it. And hey, once again, there's that WWE connection for you guys. Now, you can't go wrong with anything with Will Ferrell. I mean, anything he's done, from Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, the Daddy's Home movies, which, by the way, feature John Cena, but of course, there will be no wrestling connection in this movie. But still, everything that Will Ferrell's done, I mean, this guy's comedy gold. But anyways, this movie, another classic, Elf. A movie that's about 20 years old. I believe came out, 2002, maybe 2003, so close to 20 years, but definitely a Christmas classic. Of course, about, well, he's an elf, but he's not really an elf, who, as a baby, lived in an orphanage, accidentally snuck into Santa's bag, and, well, since he was pretty much taken to the North Pole by accident, is raised by elves. But, of course, is on a trip to find his real father, as he's been told the truth that he's not an elf, and as that's made clear, as he's taller than the rest of the elves. Yeah. But very good movie, and James Caan does a great job playing his father, who basically wants nothing to do with Buddy. And also the story is how people are losing spirit, and of course, Buddy's father in the movie, is probably one of the people with the least amount of Christmas spirit. But still, very good movie. And without spoiling too much, it's good that towards the end that his father does warm up to him, does accept him. Very good movie. So here's the back, of course. If you guys are able to read it, yeah, as you see, if you haven't seen the movie before, he is taller than the rest of the elves. including his father, played by Bob Newhart. So, yeah, and then also you got the late Ed Asner, who's been known for playing Santa in various movies. So, definitely a great movie. Probably one of my all-time favorites. Will Ferrell is absolute gold in this movie. Like I said, anything he does is great. So, yeah, and hey, he's done movies with The Rock and, and also, like I said, John Cena. So there's your WWE connection there. But anyways, great movie. If you don't have it, get it, or at least make sure to watch it on TV when it's on. Now, these two, of course, I'm going to put together: Home Alone, Home Alone 2, with Macaulay Culkin, which also features Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as the villains, Harry and Marv. And what is there to say about this movie? I mean, this movie and the second one, of course, iconic. Always something good to watch at Christmas. Of course, the first movie has, as it says, Home Alone. He is left home alone. While the second one, of course, he's not home alone per se, but he is alone as he's lost in New York. Yeah. Now, both movies are great. Of course, they both start off the same way. Macaulay Culkin's character Kevin ends up being a little bastard, basically, pissing off his family, making his mom a little bit mad. As in both movies, they're ready to go on a trip, so of course something seems to happen. The first movie, and of course both of them start with his older brother Buzz picking on him, with the first one being involved with a pizza, and Buzz choking on it, and Kevin get mad. Then the second movie where Buzz, it starts embarrassing Kevin during their choir performance, but yeah, both times, poor Kevin gets left by his family. Now, at least in the first movie, he's left home alone completely. Like, they mistaken their kid for him. But, yeah, while the second one, at least he makes it with them on the bus ride, or the van ride. But, still doesn't make the plane ride, of course, because of a little mix-up. And Kevin's mom's now got to try to find him. But, other than that, still, two different movies in a way. Similar story. I mean, of course, I always will have a happy ending if you see the movies. I'm not going to go into full detail. Of course, old Harry and Marv, played by Joe Pesci, and I said Pepsi, or I probably did, and Daniel Stern, respectively, play the villains. So yeah, we try to rob Kevin in the first movie, and well, they're unsuccessful. While in the second movie, yeah, they're in New York, and well, they're not going to let Kevin thwart their plans, but guess what? He will. But anyways, both these movies are great. Of course, I'll try to show you the back of each movie if you haven't seen them. And like I said, some similar little gags in both movies, including when Kevin has to, face his fears with people that he thought were scary but end up being good. And once again, with, his mom trying to find him, making sure that, he's okay, find them at home or find them in New York, wherever that he's been found at. But yeah, both great movies. Now, of course, there were sequels, including a third one, which had no connection to the first two movies, and it was There was a fourth one that, yeah, does share the character names, but not really. I mean, you can look up the other movies, and there's even a fifth one that was on ABC Family, but I'm not going to go into the other three movies, because those don't really count as being canon with these two. But anyways, what more can I say about a Christmas classic like Home Alone, especially when it comes to the first two? Now, while this isn't the original animated special that came out in the late 60s, that was narrated by Boris Karloff, as I almost couldn't say it, this one's pretty good. This is the actually more recent Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. As you can see, it's a CGI movie, and it's pretty good. Of course, it has the same storyline as you expect to read the book and to see in the original animated special and the live-action movie, which we will get to shortly. This one has a few differences, and I'll have to do a comparative contrast between this, the live-action, and the original animated special. But anyway, it's a very good special, good movie, I should say. And as you see on the back, and if you guys are fans of the Doctor Strange movies, the guy who plays Doctor Strange is the voice of the Grinch in this. So, very good movie. I won't go into the story too much, but I mean, other than the fact that the Grinch is trying to steal Christmas because he always felt like he's left out, little Cindy Lou Who, unlike in the live-action movie, which I will mention soon, is trying to discover, when Santa Claus is going to come. And well, it will tie into the Grinch being around, so you'll have to watch the whole movie if you haven't. If you see it on TV, or through a streaming service, or if you do find it on DVD, but very good movie. It's enjoyable. Plus, I'll say, this one, The Grinch, despite still being mean, he's not as vicious or obnoxious like the Jim Carrey version, which I'm not trying to knock that because I love the Jim Carrey version, but this one seems to have a little bit more of a heart, even though he still wants to steal Christmas. And of course, we already know what happens at the end for anyone who's seen any of the Grinch movies or specials, so yeah, definitely a good one. I would say it's enjoyable for what it is, but still, I feel like the better one, well, as you will see here in a moment, well, this one will be definitely one of my all-time favorites, as you will see come up next, but this one still is pretty decent. Now, this right here is probably one of the best movies I've ever seen when it comes to Christmas, especially when it comes to The Grinch. For one, Jim Carrey, one of my favorite actors. I always loved him and everything he's done. Most of everything he's done, whether it be the Ace Ventura movies, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, and anything else he's really been in, at least when it comes to a comedy sense. This movie right here, Dr. Seuss's The Grinch Stole Christmas, definitely a great movie, directed by Ron Howard. So, as mentioned before, everybody knows the storyline, Grinch Wants to Steal Christmas. And this one, without spoiling too much, similar to the animated one I just mentioned, even though, at least in this one, Cindy Lou Who is trying to help the Grinch out, trying to find the goodness in his heart and get him to like Christmas. Well, of course, the Grinch being the little bit of the asshole that he is, does not want anything to do with Christmas, and oh boy, in this movie, he is vile. He is obnoxious, disgusting. I mean, Jim Carrey plays this role perfectly. Like, man, and how he treats Max, and I forgot to mention, at least in the animated version, the Grinch isn't as mean to Max, at least in the CGI version, but this one, oh boy, at least until the end, he is like so mad. I mean, if Whoville had like an ASPCA, I guarantee you, the Grinch would be in prison. I mean, he should already been in prison for trying to steal Christmas, but, and yeah, also, the mayor, who's played by Jeffrey Tambor, does try to have him arrested, but, yeah, anyways, here's the back. Definitely a great movie, and like I said, Jim Carrey, he is awesome. He kills it in this role. I feel like if anyone else could probably do anything as great as Will Ferrell, it's definitely Jim Carrey. And hey, here's an idea for a movie: The Elf and the Grinch. I mean, put those two together. But anyways, great movie. Even though critics did kind of crap on this movie because it was much darker than the original Dr. Seuss book. But come on, it was already gonna be dark to begin with. You have a green, who or a what, as he's been called, trying to steal Christmas. I mean, come on. What more can be said about this movie? But still a great movie, very enjoyable. And I have to say, if I was doing my ranking here, I'd probably say close to the top of one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Now, here's a movie I think a lot of us have probably seen more than we'd like to see. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's a good movie. But if anyone here, if you live here in America, and if you have cable or satellite, you have TNT and TBS, yeah, you've probably seen a Christmas Eve going to Christmas Day, a 24 Hours of Christmas Story, where they play this movie over and over from 7 p.m. Christmas Eve to 7 p.m. Christmas Day. Yeah, but it is a great movie, and it's an iconic one. I mean, so many memorable scenes, from Ralphie trying to get his BB gun and all the hoops he's trying to go through, to the leg lamp, which is a major award, comes in a box that says Fragile, must be Italian. Even the scene where Ralphie just loses and beats the crap out of a bully who'd been taunting him the whole time. And even the Pink Nightmare, I mean, I could give you the whole detailed review of the movie in this whole video, and I don't really want to do it because that'd be too long, but, I mean, this movie, I could probably quote everything from, oh, fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word, the queen mother of bad word. Please forgive me if I misquoted. I'll have to quote it right next time. The F dash word. But yeah, I mean, there's so many iconic scenes in this movie. I think I've seen it more than any other Christmas movie just because of how many times it's aired over the years. But there's the back. Of course, poor Flick sticking his tongue on a pole. And as you see Ralphie there eat kind of soap in his mouth after he just said the F word. So yeah, I mean, this movie right here, I mean, this is an iconic movie. Now, there was a few sequels. One wasn't Christmas related. It was like My Summer Story, which I've never seen. And then there was a made-for-TV special, Christmas Story 2, where Ralphie's a teenager trying to get a car. That one, not as good, even though it does feature Daniel Stern playing the role of his father. And man, the guy the guy who plays his father in this one, I mean, man, he kind of steals the movie alongside Ralphie. But anyways, great movie, definitely a Christmas classic. I mean, I gotta at least watch this movie at least once or twice, maybe 3 times before Christmas is over, because this is definitely one of the greatest movies that's probably been made in the history of Christmas movies. Now, this movie, without a doubt, may be my most favorite Christmas movie, alongside The Grinch, but I feel like out of these movies, I mean, this one, probably one of the best ones ever made. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. This movie also, I probably watched more than I probably can remember. And it's a movie I also remember my mom recorded on VHS for us, alongside at least the Home Alone movies. But man, this movie goes back to 1989. I forgot to mention that Christmas Story is from 1983, I believe. But anyways, this is definitely an iconic movie. Chevy Chase, who I feel like that'd be me if I was in the movie. Because I don't think I'd want to go on a roof and try to put up Christmas decorations. I'd be afraid of stapling my shirt to the decorations and trying to get off the ladder. And yeah, I can name so many gags in here. I mean, this movie right here. And even though it looks animated, for those of you who don't know, it is a live action movie, but man, this is a great movie. Everything from them to go and get a tree, and him forgetting to bring his chainsaw. Of course, the tree later gets set on fire by his cousin, by his Uncle Lou. I just said cousin, but actually, if you want to talk about somebody that's crazy, of course, old Cousin Eddie. Oh man, that dude, played by Randy Quaid. I mean, there's so much. Man, I could probably spend the entire video talking about this movie, but there's the back of it. I'll definitely have to do a review of this movie. I mean, this is definitely a classic. Man, and Aunt Bethany, of course, steals the movie when they tell her to say grace, but she ends up doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, wow. I mean, once again, this is a classic. If you've never watched it, you are missing out. If it's ever on TV, streaming services, or if you see it on DVD, watch it, because this one will give you a good laugh. Definitely one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. Now we get into the animated specials. I only have a few. Besides, you did see that, the Grinch movie. I don't have the animated Grinch, but I do have a few animated specials. This one definitely iconic. A Charlie Brown Christmas, and as you see, I have the 50th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. But it could just be a standard edition. Doesn't matter to me. I just bought it because Charlie Brown Christmas. Definitely a great special. Of course, poor Charlie Brown. He just doesn't understand Christmas. Doesn't understand why people get so happy. Of course, all of his friends, if you want to call them friends, kind of crap on him for it, besides Linus. Even Linus is like, man, of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you are the Charlie Browniest. Man. Where's old Snoopy stealing the show as always, decorating his his doghouse. But anyways, they're holding a play, and everybody told them to go get a tree, and as you see, well, there's the tree, and without spoiling too much, unless you've seen it before, yeah, you know what happens with that tree. But it's still a great special for what it is. Came out in the late 60s. And anything Charlie Brown, I mean, if you haven't watched anything of Charlie Brown or the Peanuts, I mean, you're missing out. And it does show an extra special in here. It's Christmas time again, Charlie Brown, which is alright, but still, here's the back. Man, I mean, definitely an iconic Christmas special. Definitely one of my favorites. Once again, whenever I do a list, this will probably be on there somewhere. Such a great special, and I definitely enjoyed it. It's definitely been a part of my Christmas going back to when I was a kid. Alright, up next of the 3 Rankin and Bass specials I have, this right here is Frosty the Snowman. This is the only standard hand-drawn animated one I have. Now, of course, everybody knows Frosty, the story. When they put that hat on him, he comes to life, says happy birthday. Of course, you see the evil magician back there who, well, wants his hat back because he couldn't do any magic properly. And he tries to stop Frosty at all costs. And, of course, the little girl back there, and the bunny. And, yeah, I mean, I could go to a full review, but I won't. But definitely a great special. Of course, based on the popular Christmas song. Now, of course, there's been different versions of this. There's also been sequels, including Frosty's Winter Wonderland, which I wish I had, which is another good one where he finally gets a wife. And, once again, this is a great Christmas special. I love watching it every year. And just, hey, Frosty the Snowman. Everybody knows it. Frosty the Snowman. I probably can't sing the whole song because it's copyrighted, but still, another great special. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. Now, this one right here is definitely one of my all-time favorites when it comes to the Rankin and Bass specials. And it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and one of the 2 movies I have that are in the claymation style, which Rankin and Bass were always known for. And, I can relate to Rudolph. I always feel like a misfit that didn't fit in. Of course, nowadays, being a misfit's kind of cool, but, yeah, of course, everybody should know the song by now. How he had a nose that glows so bright, and all the other reindeer didn't like him for that. They wouldn't let him play reindeer games. Even his parents were embarrassed by it. Even Santa Claus didn't like seeing his red nose. Of course, Rudolph runs away, and he gets into all sorts of trouble. He does meet some friends. Of course, there's also you see Hermie the elf, who also doesn't fit in because he wants to be a dentist, not an elf. You got Euchre Cornelius back there, and you got the Bumble, and well, I mean, I could go on a long review of this, but definitely a great Christmas special. Of course, Rudolph does come and save the day when Santa does need a reindeer to lead his sleigh because the fog is making it to where he can't even get through the weather. So yeah, I mean, once again, this is a great special. Definitely one of my all-time favorites, going back to even before I was born, because this came out in the late 60s, so, man, maybe the early 60s even, I can't remember how long, but still, definitely a great Christmas special. Great song that's based off of, and there's been sequels to this, including Rudolph's Shiny New Year, even one of Rudolph and Frosty, where you get to see Frosty in claymation, which is called Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. But still, this is the one that's definitely worth having, the best one of all of them. And once again, one of my all-time favorites when it comes to animated specials, and just one of my favorite Christmas-related animated specials / movies ever. But of course, you can't have Christmas without Santa Claus, because Santa Claus is coming to town. This one, definitely an awesome one. Of course, tells the origin story of how Santa became Santa Claus. As a little orphan child, we got left with some elves, yes, similar to another movie we just mentioned, but of course, this is more about Santa. But yeah, great movie. Mickey Rourke is in this. Not Mickey Rooney. I said the wrong person. Sorry. Could you imagine a Mickey Rourke Santa Claus movie? No. But Mickey Rooney, the late Mickey Rooney, plays the role of Santa in this movie. And you get to see him going on an adventure of bringing toys from the elves that they just couldn't distribute. Well, you got the Burgermeister, Meisterburger. Yeah, that's a funny name. Who does it? Yeah, this guy up here, by the way, who doesn't really like toys. So, of course, it just tells how Santa did everything from dropping toys down in the chimney, putting them in stockings, and how eventually Santa got, well, his look up here with the white beard. Yeah. It's a movie, definitely. I mean, a special, I should say, you should definitely go back and watch. Definitely an all-time favorite of mine. Of course, there are a few sequels I do relate, like A Year Without Santa Claus. It's even more recently, the Miser Brothers Christmas, which is kind of a canon, kind of not, but those are some specials I wish I had, but still, this is definitely an all-time great movie, great special. So, hey, if you're someone like me that collects Christmas specials, Christmas movies, then definitely something you gotta have. Then, there's this, Santa's Sleigh. And look, sleigh as in kill. Good thing I'm not monetized, I'd probably have to censor that word, but he's making a list. Pray you're not on it. And yes, you read that name, Bill Goldberg. WWE Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg, former WCW and World Heavyweight Champion, Universal Champion. Yeah, this movie right here, I mean, it's a Christmas movie, but it's very anti-Christmas as it is. Anyways, long story short, Santa Claus is not good in here. Unlike Santa Claus Coming to Town, Santa Claus is, well, he's a demon spawn. If you've ever noticed that Santa are also, well, if you move these letters around, they spelled the name of an evil person. So people made this movie decide to play off that. Yeah. Because he's the son of the devil in this movie. But long story short, Santa Claus here was evil, killing people. He loses a bet to an angel where he has to be good for 2,000 years, delivering presents. So, of course, once that little thing ended, well, he decides, you know, gonna go on a killing spree. And he's gonna try to find that angel who made him do all this. So, it's a really crazy movie. I'm not gonna go more into that. And it's kind of a, it's not a slash, it is a slasher movie, but it's got a little bit of comedy in it. It's like, it's still not a movie I recommend for kids to watch. Because, yeah, this movie, I mean, and please bear with me if the back of the box is a little beat up. I bought this second-handed. But, yeah, this movie right here, I mean, and look at that. He doesn't even have a reindeer. He has, like, a big old bison, you know, leading his sleigh. I mean, this movie right here, I mean, this is not for the faint of heart. He does kill like crazy. It's like a radar movie. But still, it does have a good ending. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I do recommend you at least watch it once, unless you are not a fan of movies that have bloodshed. But if you are, hey, check this movie out, because it's definitely one of a kind. And hey, has Goldberg in it. Goldberg's Jewish, so you got a Jewish guy playing Santa. I mean, I mean that's definitely different. But still, it's a great movie for what it is, even if it's not a Christmas movie per se. But at the same time, it's still Christmas related, so hey, it had to be mentioned here. Why not? It's called Santa's Sleigh, and a little side note, I think they might have gotten the idea from a Ernest Saves Christmas movie where there's a movie called Santa's Sleigh, which was spelled the same way. Which I wish I had that movie by the way, but yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up real quick. All right, guys. Well, that was my collection. Hope you all enjoyed it. Of course, as I said before, make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know what movies here you have, which ones you've enjoyed, which ones you didn't know about, including the Santa's Sleigh, which, yeah, like I said, not a Christmas movie, but it's a Christmas movie nonetheless. And Goldberg, I mean, wow. But anyways, yeah, you guys know the drill. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like. Of course, I already said comment. Subscribe if you guys like wrestling figure videos, trading cards, live streams, and anything else I have to do, include stuff like this. And Discord, of course, once again. Come talk all that stuff with me. And yeah, other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Rock on. Keep collecting. Stay safe. And of course, happy holidays as we get closer and closer to Christmas.